What's up, boys and girls? Welcome back to another Snackable Wealth monthly portfolio update. Wow, have we got a month to show you here. So I managed to make $25,000 in the month of January. What an incredible month. There's a lot to talk about here. So let's jump into the TFSA. Once again, 100% XEQT. As you can see here, we did go up by just over $4,000 for the month of January. I'm happy with that. You know, the market was steady and it continued to climb upwards, giving us a great start to 2026. So I'm definitely happy about that. Moving over to the RRSP, and we've got a return of $2,258.55. Once again, nothing changed in this account here. The return is just dragged down a little bit by my bond component, but other than that, I can't complain at all. But as always, it's the non-registered margin account where the portfolio is really shining. So let's take a look at the numbers there. We've got a return of $20,000 in my non-registered margin account. So I've made the trades that I always make throughout the month of January. So the common theme has been for the last few months, I have been writing calls and puts on SPY. So generally, I'm doing the same strike price. The premiums lately have been very high. It's been quite easy for me to make around $1,000 a week just off the SPY calls and puts. So I've been very happy with that. I'm going to continue to keep doing that as it's sort of a staple and it always has been for me. Obviously, you know, the S&P 500 is probably the most closely looked at and tracked market. So from that point of view, it just makes sense for me to always have some sort of a position in the top 500 companies in the US. So I'll continue to do that. As for other trades that I've been doing recently, I've mentioned before on this channel, oil. I've said it before, I'm still in an oil position. I have no plans to get out. Oil has been trending a little bit higher, which has been making it a little bit more difficult to collect the premiums that I want. So I am finding it a little more challenging, and I have to be more patient. So I have been more patient trying to get the premium that I want in order to extend out my duration of risk. But I have been able to get it. It's just been taking a little while longer for me to get that premium. So I'm still sticking with oil. I'm still trading it through the use of the USO ETF. And you know what? It's been working well. Generally on a good week, I can make about $1,000 or so US. But it does fluctuate once again, given the premiums. But I try not to extend or roll my options unless I'm getting paid at least 750 USD for a 1 week roll. So I'm going to continue on with that. Hopefully oil doesn't run away from me. That is something I've been a little concerned about. You know, anytime there's any sort of hints of conflict or war or anything like that, the oil price does shoot up and it makes it more difficult for me. So hopefully oil just kind of stays within a range. I really don't want to see, you know, $70 oil. That would kind of ruin my trade. But we'll keep doing it while the money is easy to be made. Something else that I did, which probably a lot of people might have thought I was crazy for, at least people in my circle, you know, of friends and other people who do trade. I shorted silver. I ended up shorting silver at $115 and I covered a little too early. So I ended up covering my short at 95, which at the time seemed like the responsible thing to do. You know, you cannot always predict everything. And even if you can predict something, you can never predict it with 100% degree, right? You can never be 100% perfect on anything. So I did short at 115. I covered my short at 95. And then I tried not to cry as I watched it fall down into the $70 range. And, I could have made triple the money. I really could have. But in terms of a risk reward ratio, I just didn't think it made sense to continue holding that short. Obviously at the time, silver is already down by 20%. In my mind, I was thinking, well, we're down 20%. How much further can we fall, right? And is there a possibility that we get, some sort of a recovery or a bounce? So all those things were going through my head, and I chose to cover my position because I didn't want to take the chance on there being a bounce or a recovery. I had the money in my hand, so I just clicked the button to cover my short. And you know what? As they always say, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. So I'm happy with that money that I collected shorting silver. In terms of other trades, I didn't really trade anything else other than a few cash secured puts on Bitcoin. Those worked out quite well for the most part. Bitcoin for the month of January, and even in the past, it's been sort of flat. Generally Bitcoin's been quite volatile, and the premiums pay a lot of money for that. I am surprised at kind of how tame Bitcoin has been. Obviously, we did have a huge run up, but the run down hasn't been very steep, which has been surprising. So I have been selling cash secured puts on Bitcoin that are out of the money, just trying to collect some premium on there while those premiums are still paying quite heavily for some risk. Hopefully, that continues to go forward in the future, but at any point in time, Bitcoin is a volatile asset, so it may be not worth it to do in the future. If Bitcoin goes back to 100,000, obviously at that point, I probably won't be selling cash secured puts on it. And then, if Bitcoin ends up going down, obviously I could run into some trouble with my puts if it starts to get volatile again. But that was my month in terms of trading. So it was just my SPY and my USO as always. And then the silver short helped boost my profits. I'm not touching silver at all. After that short, I'm completely done. So I shorted from 115 to 95. I have no anticipations of getting in long or getting in short. If we can see, $50 silver again, I may consider taking a long position, or maybe just selling cash secured puts to collect premium. But I have no anticipation of being short at this point unless we go back to, over $100. I'm not even going to consider it. And unless we go near $50, I'm not going to consider going long. So I'm completely out of silver, 100%. Looking into the future, I think I might slow my roll a little bit on just, picking and choosing more or less. So I wouldn't say slowing my roll necessarily. That might be the wrong terminology there or use of words, but I might be a little more picky in terms of what I do. And the reason for that is because if you're looking at price action, the market has been doing quite well. But it seems that we're having trouble around this 7,000 S&P 500 mark. And I'm just feeling a little uneasy. I don't think we're going to crash. I'm going to say that right now. I don't think there's going to be any sort of crash, or at least nothing, material really. But it does seem like maybe the juice is kind of running out. And when that happens, people can get a little jittery and you can have, some falling in the market. So I'm just going to be a little more choosy. I might have to take some smaller profits or, have a little bit less risk going forward. So I might do that just for a little bit, especially at the end of February. NVIDIA earnings are coming up. I haven't decided yet, but to be honest, I might not even have any option positions open during that time when NVIDIA releases earnings. I don't know if they're going to be good earnings. I don't know if they're going to be bad earnings. I don't really care. I don't follow NVIDIA. I don't trade NVIDIA. So it really makes no difference to me. I'm just looking at it as purely a risk-off play. I just don't want to have my hands in it. If I don't have my hands in it and the market goes up, I haven't lost anything. But if I have my hands in the market and they have a bad earnings report, and I'm using leverage, I don't want to get caught. So we'll see what happens there at the end of February. And obviously, you guys will see in my next update what has happened. But definitely, I think I'm just going to be a little more choosy with what I play for the next month or so. Let's take a look at the crypto account here. We'll see what I've done, because I did mention in my last video that I was buying. So I was adding to my crypto position. We know that crypto, or Bitcoin, has been falling down. I don't really know too much about the other cryptos because I don't care and I don't follow them. But I assume if Bitcoin's going down, then Ethereum, Solana, I assume all those other ones are probably going down even more. So we know that it's been going down. I've told you that I've been buying in my account slowly here and there. But let's see for January what happened. No surprise, we are down $1,399 for the month of January in the Bitcoin crypto account. You can see on the graph once again that the dotted line shows that I have been purchasing. So even though I did lose money for the month, I was actually making purchases to sort of boost that holding. So I do want to keep my Bitcoin position at my allocation percentage. So I am continuing to put money into that account as it falls. Am I worried about it? No, I'm not worried about it. Do I think it could go down further? Yes, I do. Do I also think we could go back to 100K? I do think that's possible, but going back to what I said about the market and the S&P 500 trying to hit that 7,000 and not really being able to break past that, it does make me a little, worried that Bitcoin may not be hitting 100K anytime soon. So, and then maybe that explains kind of the slow kind of death here that we've been seeing in Bitcoin over the past few months. But I'm not really worried either way. I don't think we're shooting past 100K. I don't think we're going below 50K. So as long as we stay somewhere in between the 50 and 100K range, I'm not fazed by it. I'm just going to keep adding and holding my position. I think that's about all I've really wanted to talk about in this video here. I will be putting out my next video, the option strategies and options explained for beginners. So that will be the next video coming before my February update. But looking forward, I just don't think much is really going on until we see some more earnings numbers and some more data. I think we're kind of just going to chug along. I can't see us crashing, as I said. Also, I can't see us going to the moon. I think we're going to stay within a few percentage points, and that's how I'm going to play it. I am currently trying to roll my USO options again. So hopefully oil cooperates, and I will maintain that rolling position throughout February. But I don't think there's any cause for concern. So if you're trading and you're wondering sort of what the outlook is, I say, be a little cautious, but don't stop trading. Don't go into cash. Don't do anything crazy. Just keep trying to skim some money off the top wherever you can. Don't YOLO your whole account. Don't take any risky bets, but I don't think you have to pull the plug. I don't think that anything drastic is going to happen. So keep trading, stay away from any earnings, any companies that have earnings coming up. I would not recommend doing any options or trades on those companies, and try to stick to some ETFs that are more broad-based. That way you're not centralizing your risk. You're kind of spread out and keeping that diversification going, because I think that that is going to help you if there is, you know, a few percentage drop over the next month or so. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. It was a great month. I'm very happy with the results. Hopefully we can keep this going forward. This has been my best month since I started the channel. So I'm quite impressed and proud that we got to see $25,000 for 1 month. I don't know if that'll happen again anytime soon, as it was, you know, heavily influenced by some factors that don't come around often. In this example, silver, right? So silver helped boost us, and that, you know, I wouldn't say is a once in a lifetime opportunity, but you know, they don't come around too often. So you got to take advantage where you can. All right, guys. Thank you for watching Snackable Wealth. I hope you enjoyed this update. Until next time, keep snacking. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.